What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You already know it is the 904 Strength Club, home of the strongest content coming out of Northeast Florida. Today, we're going to talk about something that I find interesting, because I always talk about things I find interesting, and that is cheater reps. So, for a little bit of background, there are a lot of different coaches I watch on YouTube. Some of them I take more serious than others. Two of them that I actually respect a good bit and genuinely try to listen to what they have to say. Just recently, for some reason, both of them have talked about cheater reps, and it not necessarily in depth, but kind of in a tangentially. That's the word I'm looking for. Tangentially talked about cheater reps and have kind of, poo-pooed them, so to say. And the two that I'll call out, once again, I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I'm not going to stop listening to them. I'm not going to stop following what they put out, because I think they put out a lot of good things. I just disagree on this. But those two are Greg Doucette and Dr. Michael Israetel, or Mike Israetel, Dr. Mike Israetel. Anyway, and both of them have kind of pushed aside cheater reps, said things that were kind of not great, discouraging them. I think that there's a solid case to be made for cheater reps, and I'm going to give three different scenarios. I'm sure there are more, but three different scenarios in which I like to employ cheater reps and that I use them with clients, and kind of put a little bit of nuance. Now, one thing that bears saying is that our focuses aren't necessarily the same. While Dr. Mike and Greg both have a wealth of knowledge and can speak to general strength training, it seems that their channels are primarily dedicated more towards aesthetics, weight loss, bodybuilding, things like that. They've both addressed strength training, and they both have the chops to do it, for sure. But my focus is almost completely strength. So yeah, it probably colors the conversation just a little bit. So let me give you three separate scenarios in which I employ cheater reps and I use cheater reps with my clients. The first scenario is isolation work and closing out sets. So here's your hypothetical. You came in last week on Monday, and Monday one of your accessory movements was lat pull downs. You gave me 3 sets of 12 textbook lat pull downs at 120 pounds. That's the plate you were using. All right, you had been working up and you finally closed your sets. 3 sets of 12. The rep range I prescribed for you is 8 to 12 reps and 3 sets on that. So because you were able to do that, we're going to move you up to the next plate, whether that's 135, 140, it doesn't matter. You're going to the next plate. You get in there, you get your first rep or your first set, and you get 10. Your second set, you get 9. Your third set, you squeeze out 6. Can't quite do the last 2 that you need to do to meet the minimum clean. So there are a couple different ways that we close out that set. One of them is I come behind you, grab the bar, and help you down. Do a couple of assistance reps to get you to that 8, because you're still getting stimulus. You're just not getting the full stimulus of that weight. You're still getting some stimulus. A different way of doing it might be a rest pause, to where I tell you, okay, hold on to the bar, take 5 good deep breaths, and try to squeeze them out. The third way I might tell you to do them is use a little bit of body English. Rock back a little bit, get the bar moving, and then pull it down. You are still getting stimulus from those reps. You're not getting the same stimulus that you get on a clean rep, but you are still getting stimulus. That's how I would use them. Now, the key here is we don't count cheat reps on these exercises the same that we count clean reps. All right? When we go to count clean reps, we'll just write regular reps in there. In this instance, though, if you got 6 clean reps and you use 2 cheater reps, I would tell you to write in your logbook 6/2. Look at me writing in the air like that matters at all. All right, so 6/2. Now your goal next week is on your first set to try to get at least 11 reps, your second set to try to get at least 10 reps, and on your third set to try to get at least 7 clean reps. All right, and that is how you progress. That's going to allow you to continue to progress and move forward. So that's scenario 1. You're talking accessory work and you're talking closing out and getting to the minimum number of prescribed reps in a set, given that you have progressed to that weight. Because what we don't want to do is hang out at that same weight when you've already done that for 3 sets of 12 clean reps. Now, if you fail to progress because the weight's just getting heavy, and we might employ tempo reps at a lighter weight. We might do something else. But this is going to be your first course of action. So, scenario number 2. There exist certain movements that by design, those exercises are done with body English. The 2 that I would call to attention that I absolutely love are bent over barbell rows and croc rows. They're both row variations. Imagine that. Both have been used successfully to help build heavy deadlifts. All right. I'm not going to go into some sort of an explanation because I don't know why they work. I know that they do work. I've used them with success. The first person that I really heard talk about them was Ed Cohn, but I know that Kaler Woolham also mentioned them as something that he used to get to, I think he had over a 900-pound deadlift at a super small body weight. So, I mean, just phenomenal athlete, phenomenal deadlifter. Beyond powerlifting, I think these movements actually translate well over into strongman, because in strongman, a lot of times you're using less than optimal position and you're using your entire body to try to get something to move. So I think my way of thinking, there's a conditioning that's going on of your neural system so that it increases coordination under a heavy amount of weight, as well as just getting used to handling heavier amounts of weight. Now, how do I program these in? Well, croc rows I think you can do on a fairly regular basis because you're doing one arm at a time. If you've never seen a croc row, it's a suitcase row with body English. All right. And the way that Croc talked about programming them is you do 3 sets of 20. And once you can do 3 sets of 20 on a weight, that was your target rep range, was 3 sets of 20. Once you could close that out, you went up to the next weight. You added more weight. And then you would struggle to try to get 3 sets of 20 so that you could add more weight. I think you can keep those in fairly regularly without issue. Heavy barbell rows, on the other hand, I think are more akin to the type of fatigue that you would see from heavy deadlifts. So I like to use those a little bit more sparingly. Maybe do them for 2 to 3 weeks in a row and then swap up to something else, or even alternate every other week. Some of the other exercises that you can use to change these out are cable rows, or you can use, I like to use a Smith machine and do barbell rows on a Smith machine with a very super tight form much lighter weight and really focus on getting the squeeze, getting that pump. Still trying to work and create a tremendous amount of tension in the muscle fibers in the back, but doing it with less weight. All right, so that's scenario number 2. Scenario number 3, where I think they come in handy, is challenge sets. What do I mean by a challenge set? So we're going to go with the row variety again. Let's say you're doing seated cable rows. You do your first 2 sets, doing good. Third set, I tell you, all right, AMRAP, don't let go until you can't pull it anymore. You start out, keep it nice and clean. As soon as your form starts to break down a little bit and you can't do them clean, do you just let go and call it? No. You start using some body language, body English. You start pulling into it and really getting after it. Now, why? Why would I say to use body English in challenge sets? I would say that they come in handy because one of the things that you're training in those instances is not just physical. You're training a mental fortitude. You're training to continue to push and push and push well beyond what your body is telling you it can do. So that's the third scenario. You know, because my focus is predominantly on strength and I compete in strongman, I have to do a lot with my body that is in less than ideal and disadvantaged positions in getting my body to move under load in a unison, in a united manner. I'm having a hard time putting this together. Getting everything to work together synergistically. There's the word that I'm looking for. In a synergistic manner in order to execute the lift. Sometimes I have to draw on that well of cheater reps that I've been doing all along, because guess what? In strongman, nobody cares how it looks. Everybody cares whether or not you got the lift. So, you know, does it matter that I hitched? No. Does it matter that I used straps? No. Does it matter that I did this, and this? No. What matters is I got the lift. And I think cheater reps are a great way to not just continue to push the limits of your body, but also to train yourself mentally in order to expand what you can do as an athlete. So that is my respectful answer to anybody that would kind of say cheater reps have no place. I think cheater reps do have a place. And the analogy that I'll use in closing is learning to train is like learning to become a master mechanic. When you first get into the gym, you get a toolbox and you get some tools. That's all the weights and implements in the gym. And then as time goes on, you gather knowledge. And those are other tools that you put in there, just like a mechanic would do. Oh, I didn't know you could do this with this. Or here's a different tool in order to do this to make this job easier. And as you progress, becoming a master mechanic is about having the proper tools to do the job and knowing which tool to pull out when. So that's cheater reps for you guys. Sorry it's been so long since I put out a video. Things happen. You know, I don't make money off of YouTube, so it's kind of a secondary concern. When I can, I will put out videos. And if there's anything else that you'd like me to discuss, leave it in the comments. Click the subscribe button, like, share the video, and we'll see you next time.